This is one of my favorite times of the year. Not just Christmas or New Year's, it's actually reviewing all of the films that have gone by throughout the year and deciding which ones were my favorite and which ones were the worst. Sitting at number 10, and a lot of you guys are going to just don't click off just yet because I know what you're thinking. For me, it was Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer on your 10 most worst movies of the year. That's right. I'm telling you right now, these next few were not that bad at all. It just kind of goes to show you what kind of a year we had. And again, I didn't go see all the movies, and I really put my money on the ones that I really thought were going to entertain me. But it was a storytelling through talking. So I really didn't gravitate to it, and I definitely didn't walk out of the film going, my mind was blown. I didn't come out of there thinking like I didn't have some emotional impact on me. It was just what it was. And with all the hype and talk that everyone was saying about it and everybody else's experience, I just didn't feel the same. And here it is. At the bottom of my list for 2023, at number 10 is Oppenheimer. Number 9, Dungeons and Dragons. Now here's another one that I thought was a fun movie. I enjoyed myself. I walked away with a smile on my face. But as I reminisce throughout the years and I look back, I don't find that this one is very memorable at all. It's just passing me by. I don't feel the need to really want to watch it again. I don't feel the desire to seek it and hype on it. It was just there, and just there happens to be just number 9 on my list. So at number 9 is Dungeons and Dragons. Sitting at number 8, and this is the last of the films that I thought were actually pretty good, pretty decent, that are on my list, and that is Cisu. To be honest with you, there are things that I really did enjoy about it. I did like the character in there, and I really liked his somberness, but yet there was some sort of badass coolness with it. There was a few things that I found funny. Yes, it's on one of the worst of the year, and here we are, on to the next. Now, sitting at number 7, I was surprised. It's Megan. Megan kind of was a bit of a cute thing, and I'm not one to really enjoy horror. It wasn't a horror film, although it's in that genre. There's something special in it that I do think is something that I like, but really it kind of falls flat. So at number 7, Megan is in the list of, not too great, but still not too bad. Number 7 is Megan. The true start of the worst films of 2023, and that to me is AntMan Quantumania. I really wanted to love this movie, but I just couldn't. There are some things that were in the way that just kind of made me feel like, look, it's not that great. I love the creativity and I love the potential for this. And it's the potential that wasn't fully fleshed out. They could have focused on more of the world building. Look, they were in this spacey world, which was actually the quantum world, but they had an opportunity to go places no other movie went to. And they started to talk about time and the bending of time and multiverses and things like that they really could have had a mind-blowing movie. But they chose to go into different directions with focusing on certain characters, and some of the jokes weren't landing. I think that a lot of people spent a lot of work creating it. It's not as good of a movie. It sits at number 6. At number 5 is Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, my son loved this movie. It's one of his favorite movies of the year, so I can't really poop on it. In fact, I found out later that there's a lot of people who really enjoyed the film, and they, for all kinds of reasons, they support it. And again, the potential was so missed here. If you wanted to have a horror-esque movie with some slaughtering going on, and even though it was for kids or had some PG-13 elements to this, I think they missed some opportunities. They didn't go in certain directions, and I think they paid for it. At least it didn't capture my interest. So at number 5 is Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, these next 4, without a doubt, are on the crappy side. These movies are just plainly not good. The list that I've come up with so far are things that most people can defend. Honestly, these next 4 are absolutely at the bottom. And I'd be very interested in knowing if there's anybody out there who disagrees. Number 4 is The Meg 2. I really enjoyed the first one. In fact, it was a surprise. I didn't expect to like it. It really entertained me a lot. There was a lot of silliness involved, but at the same time, sometimes a movie's silliness doesn't impact its overall feeling that I have of being entertained. So Meg 2 comes along and I was hoping for much the same thing. Actually, all they had to do was follow the same formula, but they didn't. It wasn't about the sharks. It was like, what are you doing? I can't believe you're not including the sharks in the way you really could be. It's not just a missed opportunity here. It is a complete failure of an idea, and therefore it sucked. And it sucked. Number 4 is The Meg 2. It sucked. Shazam 2 is a total flop for me. Again, I thought the first one was a nice surprise. I was entertained by it. It wasn't the best movie of the year, but at the same time, it was a fresh idea, and I really did enjoy the characters and the camaraderie, and there was a lot of good things that I can say about the first film that just made me feel good. It was very flat in its storytelling and very boring at times, and the action was not that great. The jokes were definitely not great. I don't know what they were thinking. They really tried to hype this up and get people into the movie theaters to see, but they really had a flop on their hands before it even hit theaters, and they know it. And so, unfortunately, it just did not live up to the hype, and it is number 3 on the list, Shazam 2. Now, hitting at number 2 is a bit of a film that I kind of just forgot. You know, there's nothing really extra special about Rainfield. Rainfield is a movie that I don't really remember what the story is. I thought some of the action was a bit over the top and a bit like exaggerated, which kind of bothered me because they didn't really know what tone to keep. Didn't know what direction it wanted to focus on. I would totally forget that I even saw this. It's just absolutely nothing. I'm not going to say that it sucks. It doesn't feel like it sucks like The Meg 2, but it just feels like it's forgettable, unmemorable, and there it's gone, already out the door in my mind at number 2. Now, number 1. On my ratings list, I have a rating for crap. There's only one film that I feel like really deserves to be on that, 65. And I know what you're saying. We've gone through the list right now, and you're saying, Rob, what about the Marvels? What about The Flash? Why? Because so many people had those 2 films in their shitty list, in their list of at least top 10 worst films of the year. Now, if you feel like, you know, the Marvels belongs here and I'm just not connecting with you on that, you're not connecting with me on that, that's fine, you know. But for me, the real star here is 65. 65 was an absolute dumbfire. It did not give me any satisfaction whatsoever. In fact, it was frustrating to watch. It was so frustrating because they would tease you that something awesome was going to happen, and then they just don't even go there. I don't know. Some of the storytelling, it was just not good at all. That sits at my number 1. And I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Thank you again for another awesome year. My first year doing movie reviews, and I'll tell you that I've learned a lot. We've seen a lot. We had some good times. I thank you very much for all of your support, and if you have not subscribed to me yet, please do so, because we're only getting better. We're only going to have more fun. 2024 hopefully is an even better year for films overall. Stay tuned for my list of 2024's most anticipated films that I have. And until next time, enjoy life, people. Enjoy film. Take care. And I wish you well.